Welcome to Jumpstart. Don't have a scripture for you. Instead, I want to talk just briefly about scripture and GPS. Yeah, that's an odd connection, don't you think? I recently heard a sermon preached that spoke from Joshua, where God told Israel where they need to go, and they did. And they followed his directions for a change. And it was referred to as God's positioning system, how God places us where we need to go. And it's really kind of cool. But I was also thinking, as I was hearing that sermon, that there are a lot of negatives to GPS units today. Now, I do have one myself. Actually, it was a gift, so. But I use it a lot, even just going from our church to our house, which is seriously like a mile. My wife gets on me all the time about it. It's kind of fun. But you can even get GPS location on your phone, turn-by-turn directions, navigation. And it's very convenient. It's very helpful, especially if you're stuck and you don't have a map of the city you're in. But on the negative side of it, it teaches us to rely on the unit itself to tell us everything we need to do, where to go. And while in a good way, we need to rely on God like that, sometimes we don't rely on the right person for our turn-by-turn directions or navigation. A lot of times, especially when it comes to Scripture, we'll listen to whatever our pastor or our friends tell us, or maybe sometimes even our parents. And we all know they're not always right. But trust me, I'm a parent. I'm not right all the time. In fact, there's a lot of times I'm wrong. But we tend to listen to other people, especially when it comes to Scripture and our own faith, instead of studying for ourselves. And when we rely so much on the GPS, sometimes we don't even learn how to read a map properly. Cartography could be considered a dying art nowadays because of the advent of such reliable and convenient technology. But sometimes just listening to your GPS for your directions, instead of reading a map for yourself to plot out your own course, it's a lot like not listening to what your own Bible says to you. A lot of us have Bibles that just sit on the shelf and collect dust. We might open it once a week on a Sunday morning if we take it with us, or Wednesday night if our group meets on a Wednesday night. But we never open ourselves, and we just rely on what other people are telling us about our faith. So here's your Jumpstart challenge for this week, for this year. Open this for yourself. This is your map. Don't just rely on the GPS of the church, because odds are it's going to get you where you need to go anyway. We're going to give you the right information. But we might be wrong here or there. And if you're only looking every now and then, you might miss a few turns along the way. And, I'm not saying that churches or other people are wrong all the time, or that you are always right, but sometimes you need to double check. Double check your map against your GPS. Double check this against what your church and what your youth pastors are saying. Use that to jumpstart your week. Use it to jumpstart your year. Jumpstart your week.